Hello and welcome. I am currently in London with the amazing Sarah Ellis.
And Maria, do you want to share what happened to us? We went into a coffee shop when we first met, and we walked in, and within 60 seconds of being in there, we got chatted up and we got asked out.
It was, and it was quite inspiring for us and for this video today, because we noticed we're both wearing bright colours, and I tend to wear mostly bright colours these days. India is a massive inspiration for me, and both Sarah and I agreed, didn't we, that
Yes.
it's all about being visible. And I used to be, living in this country, always wear dark colours, always sort of not want to be seen, especially when you're not feeling so great. What do you think, Sarah?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I spent many years living in a body that I hated, and not just hating my body, but covering up, wearing dark colours, black, baggy clothes as well. And I have to give a big shout out here to Sophie Claire Thorpe, who helped me massively. She's a brilliant stylist. Look her up, hire her. She's fantastic. She helped me to get out of wearing dark colours all the time and really show up, which is what this interview is about, showing up in the best form of you and stop hiding.
So I teach an awful lot about taking ownership of your desires. We're not really nurtured to do that growing up, especially if you come from the West. It's frivolous, or it's too big, or it's too difficult, or it's too out there. Even in how you live your daily life, how you spend your time. And Sarah and I have been real advocates for owning your desires and wanting what you want. So I'm encouraging you to pay attention. Pay attention to what is it you're inspired towards, what is it you're drawn towards, what is it that interests you. And instead of turning your back on it, because that's pretty much the same as turning your back on a small child when they're trying to tell you something important. So if you haven't already got a sort of a practice of any kind, it doesn't have to be straight meditation, anything that gives you the opportunity to connect with your inner being, whether it be walking in nature, journaling, swimming, walking, it can be straight meditation, it can even be a guided meditation. But once you have that practice in place, then it's really important to pay attention to what you're being guided towards or away from. And usually your next steps in life, the things that you're being urged to go into or move away from, are there as the breadcrumbs or as the dot to your next step or to your life in general. And it's really a powerful ability to develop is when you can listen and take notice, and then add a huge dose of courage. I think that courage is the glue that holds it all together, that can enable you to move forward regardless of the fears, regardless of the naysayers around you, the people who are going to tell you, oh, that's a bit risky, or that's a bit far out, what about the kids' education, what about finances, what about this, what about that. So whatever it is for you, no one else has your back more than you do and the universe. So the universe is bringing you the ideas and the inspirations, but it's your job to rise up and take ownership of what it is that you desire.
Yes, and I'm a living example that it is possible. I released a lot of weight. I was a size 18 and I'm now a size 10, and I've been that weight and that size for 20 years, and the statistic of losing weight and keeping it off is actually 1%. Do you know that?
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah,
no, did not know that.
Losing weight is the easy bit. It's the maintenance and keeping that level of health and commitment. 20 years. So I do know that it is possible to manifest your ideal body, have lots of energy, be in a peak state of health, definitely from. It doesn't matter where you start, and that's what I'd really like to say today, is that you can just start. And I think a lot of people are intimidated by the idea of a spiritual practice. It doesn't have to be meditating for hours, it doesn't have to be yoga. It can start with a small affirmation. Oprah Winfrey said that the one thing that kept her going through all the adversity in her life, sexual abuse, racism, the one thing that kept her going was an affirmation, I am God's perfect child. And I have an affirmation that I do as well every day, no matter what is happening in my life. And it's 3 words. I mean, everyone wants to hear the words, I love you, don't they? But
yes,
I think the most important 3 words are, I am worthy.
oh,
And
yes.
I always say those words, and it keeps me grounded and it keeps me going through whatever adversity that I have to face. So I would recommend that people have an affirmation that they keep repeating, and I do know more about I can tell you how to do affirmations
It's a
properly.
whole
So,
other video, isn't it, Sarah?
Yeah. Well, we can do that as
Oh
well.
yeah, let's do it. Mine, and you probably know if you're following me, is life happens for you, not to you.
Oh, I
so
love
look
it.
around at what's happening and ask the question, what's it for? What's my opportunity to grow and rise up? So really the main takeaway for you guys today is to take ownership of your desires. So if you're wanting to live in a healthier, more free, well-feeling body, if you're wanting increased finances, if you're wanting to live in a warmer climate, if you're wanting help in your home, daily life, whatever it is, own that and accept that, and don't feel ashamed for it, because it's not indicating that something's wrong. All it's indicating is that there's always room for more. So we're operating from a more expansive point of view, knowing that I'm great as I am. As Sarah just said, I'm worthy, I'm great as I am. But hey, I deserve more, I'm worthy of more, right? Like you just said. And there's always room for more. So looking at what that more is, because by your very, very nature as human beings, all of us, we're evolutionary beings. So we're not designed to stay the same. We're not designed to stay stagnant. And you have every right to move from where you are now, it might be mediocre, to somewhere that's really outstanding, whether it be relationships, whether it be practical approach to life, whether it be finances, work, career, body, whatever it is. You have every right to wake up every morning and feel as though you cannot wait to get stuck into your day.
I really do believe that we're all put here to do something, and we should follow our hearts. And it doesn't matter what it is you want to do, if it's a smaller thing or a big thing. Just know that you can do it. Start showing up as who you really are. And today's an amazing day because we've got a brilliant example of it. The son of a bus driver has become mayor in London. And regardless, this isn't anything about politics, regardless of whose politics you like, I think this is a brilliant example of that. Anyone can do it. What a fantastic example. So just go out and shine your light, and don't listen to what anyone says. Can you imagine if he had listened to what the statistics are?
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
It's an amazing example of what happens when you just keep going, because there will be problems and there will be breakdown moments. There will be moments where you can't see the light, let alone the tunnel, right? Or the tunnel, let alone the light. Yeah, the right way around. But my mantra, and I say it to myself all the time, is keep going. And that doesn't mean you know how far you're going to go or how you're going to get there, but there's always one next step that's presenting itself, and that's all you need to focus on. The very next step, whatever's showing up, whatever's in front of you, and keep going.
And don't worry if you don't know the way. A way will be shown. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep showing up.
Keep showing up and keep trusting. So I'm in London for another few days. I've had an absolute blast hanging out with Sarah and all sorts of different people. My aim since when I left India, I don't know, a month ago, was to connect with people, because I was being pulled to make really strong in-person connections. I love connecting via the internet like I am now, but sometimes we just need a little hug or a little,
or a big hug.
in person, or a big hug. So if you are in London and you'd like to meet up with me and give me a hug and I'll give you a hug, then comment below or send me a private message, and I would absolutely love to meet you. Until next time, you can message either me or Sarah if you want any more information about upgrading your life or upgrading your health and wellness. Until next time. Mwah.
Thank you. Please do send me a message.